Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Suicide Black in Modern. And we'll play first. And this hand is pretty sweet. We got our friend Pack Rat, a ton of removal. So Swamp Go was inspired by Pack Rat on last week's Against Odds. Figured we might as well try it. Ether Vial for our opponent. Well, Swamp and Pack Rat. Pass the turn. So we kind of want to get empty-handed with this deck, actually. We have some of the bad Dark Confidants that draw cards if we're empty-handed. Opponent goes with Lord of Atlantis. Oh, man. This hand actually seems really good against them. Swamp. Kick a Gatekeeper. Target our opponent. Do they have something to vial in? They don't. I think we attack here. If they are slow rolling a Curse Catcher and they didn't use it to save their Lord of Atlantis, then you got us. You got us, Merfolk. Takes it up. We actually wouldn't mind one more land. Ooh, another Vial? Alright. One more land gives us double removal spells. Let's attack with both. Opponent vials in a Lord of Atlantis. Let's see if they actually block. They do. Maybe we just let Pack Rat die here. Let's just let Pack Rat die. Get in for 2. And then just kick another Gatekeeper. So our opponent's down 2 Lords of Atlantis. That was sweet. We could have got blown out by a Vapor Snag. If we tried to make another rat, they could bounce the rat we made with Vapor Snag. And then we would lose both rats. And we would be down a card. We are drawing all the Gatekeepers. Alright, let's get in with both. Opponent vials in a Regery. Vials in a Curse Catcher. Yeah, let's let our opponent block. They take it? Alright. Well, in that case, we'll just Victim of Night the Regery. 3 Lords down. We are killing our way through all these Merfolk Lords. And we're not even really scared of Master of Waves because we got another Victim of Night. So, endless removal. Good against Merfolk. We are learning things. I'm a little worried to play the Avatar of Discord. Because it's pretty painful if it gets bounced. Opponent attacks for 1. Yeah, we get a Swamp. Let's keep attacking. Pays 4 life to dismember a Gatekeeper. In that case, how scared are we of Master? Alright, let's just kick another Gatekeeper. Target our opponent. Yeah, there's the Master. So they're going to get an Elemental to sack. But they're still down to 2 cards. And it looks like out of Lords. And we still have removal left over in hand. And we're almost to the point where we get to turn on this Asylum Visitor. Opponent vials in a Regery. 2 cards left in hand. Opponent attacks for 2. Well, let's Victim of Night the Regery. Opponent's going to Vapor Snag the Regery. Alright. We get to attack with the Gatekeeper. Put our opponent down to 4. Cast Asylum Visitor. And pass the turn. So our opponent does get their Regery back, but they're down to 4 life. So they can't take too much more damage. Vials in the Regery. Well, they have a Lord to cast as well. They find a Silver Gill Adept. Going to untap their Ether Vial. Draws a card. They have another Reejerey. Alright, many Reejereys. Let's just take it. Down to 12. See what we draw. Another Gatekeeper. Well, let's do some attacking. See what our opponent does. They gotta block something. Blocks. Blocks. Well, we will Victim of Night or Reejerey. They both trade off. We could just play the Gatekeeper. It's better if we can kick it, though. Let's pass. Opponent's only at 2 cards, and they got a lot of lands to draw. They're going to Spreading Seas a Swamp. Okay. Attack with Curse Catcher. Alright, let's trade it off. See what we draw. A Bajuka Bog. Oh, so we can Gatekeeper to try to kill the Reejerey. That probably makes the most sense. Kick a Gatekeeper. Target our opponent. Pass the turn. We're going to hold this land because we might want to discard 2 to this Avatar of Discord next turn. See what our opponent has. Another Spreading Seas. Alright, that makes it harder to play our Avatar of Discord. Draws a card. Finds a land. And passes. We get a swamp. Alright, let's attack with Gatekeeper. Put our opponent to 2. Bajuka Bog. Target our opponent. So now if we ever draw a Gray Merchant, we just win. Assuming our opponent doesn't have a counter. Another land for our opponent. Another Spreading Seas. Oh, that is kind of annoying. It's keeping us from casting our stuff. And a Silvergale revealing a Tidebinder. Alright, come on, Gray Merchant, for the win. Or a removal spell. Or just a swamp. Well, let's attack with Gatekeeper. Opponent trades off. Pass the turn. Vials ticking up. Or staying the same, rather. Opponent plays a land. Plays a Tidebinder. Well, we could play Abyssal Persecutor, but we don't have a way to kill it. So I think we're just going to play Avatar of Discord. And pass the turn. Vapor Snag would be pretty annoying here. Opponent's stuff ticks up. Come on, no Vapor Snag. And our opponent scoops it up. So far, so good for Suicide Black. And we get even more removal from the sideboard. We get Bioblight. We get Guess Verdict. We get Smother. And we probably get Ratchet Bombs as well. Not sure about Drown in Sorrow. It only takes 1 Lord, and it's not as fast as Pyroclasm. Going down, probably some of the Bad Bobs. Which Bad Bob, though? Silent Visitor. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, you have the player no cards. So if we get our opponent empty-handed, and that has Madness, so I think we're just going to go down the Blood Scriveners, and maybe one of the Call to the Netherworlds. And let's try it like that. Well, we got some removal. And our opponent's going to 5. Well, seems like we got a good matchup against Merfolk. We can just kill all their stuff. Curse Catcher. Certainly. Swamp Goo. Curse Catcher is a tiny bit obnoxious. See what our opponent plays here. Silvergill revealing a Master of Waves. Well, let's just dismember the Silvergill. Alright, opponent sacks Curse Catcher. That's fine. We assume that would happen. We just want to keep their board clean, basically. Also, drawing 1 more land would be fine. Another Gatekeeper. Well, let's just Victim of Night. Pass the turn. We're a little afraid of our lands becoming islands with Spreading Seas. Gatekeeper likes a lot of black mana. So if they can kill it, or turn our... another Curse Catcher. And passes. Well, let's just play Asylum Visitor. Pass the turn. Opponent gets in 4-1. Come on, land for Gatekeeper. Well, it's a tap land, but it's a land. Yeah, let's Asylum Visitor. Put our opponent to 17. Cast another Asylum Visitor. Leech-Ridden Swamp, go. So this is just a really weird form of reach. We can pay 2 to make our opponent lose 1. Well, each opponent, but we only have 1 opponent because we're playing Modern. There's the Spreading Seas. Going to slow down our Gatekeepers. Opponent passes. Alright, never mind. We drew a Swamp. So let's just kick a Gatekeeper here. This probably wins us the game. We get rid of the Curse Catcher. Then we get to attack for 6. So we're aided by our opponent mulliganing this game, but this still feels like a really good matchup for us. Lord of Atlantis. Ooh, Abyssal Persecutor. Oh, I kind of want to play it. Let's just swing with everything and play Persecutor. That's probably the worst plan, but it seems sweet. Put our opponent to 6. Actually, that's a really bad idea. I can't do that. That'll end up killing us. Let's just call the Netherworld, get back Asylum Visitor. Replay Asylum Visitor. And I think our opponent's just dead. It would have been fun to kill our opponent with Abyssal Persecutor, but... opponent Silvergills. Plays... Whoa! Mutavault is looking Simic. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one yet. So let's just... Victim of Night. And that does it. Sweet. Well, Suicide Black. Getting it done.